Good morning, and welcome to the 2022 Washington Business Hall of Fame Town Hall. We're fortunate to be supported by over 100 business and community leaders, committed to connecting the best in business to inspire the next in business, including Hall of Fame presenting sponsors Capital One, Carlyle, and Morgan Stanley. Masterclass and Town Hall Series sponsor KPMG, and Town Hall sponsors Delta Airlines and PNC Bank. In this hour, 4 of our region's most promising future leaders have the chance to learn from 3 of the best in business: Jair Lynch, Jennifer Curley, and Kevin Smithson. Moderating this hour of conversation, please welcome your host, anchor at NBC4, Leon Harris.
Hello, everyone. It is such an honor to be your host for the 3rd annual Washington Business Hall of Fame Town Hall. Now, many of you know I've been hosting the Hall of Fame for quite some time now, and you might be curious to know why I keep coming back. To be honest, while I truly am in awe of the incredible business greats who have been inducted into the Hall of Fame, it's really the work that Junior Achievement does for our kids that always draws me back. Every year, JA provides more than 50,000 students in our region with financial literacy and business education that sets them up to succeed long after high school. Connecting the best in business with the next in business is JA's century-long legacy, and aligning that with education is the very cornerstone of the Washington Business Hall of Fame. And that's why this year's Hall of Fame is not just one single event, but a full day of inspiration and opportunity. Following this town hall, stick around for our Masterclass series presented by KPMG. It's full of advice for business leaders, students, and everyone in between. Now, a bit of housekeeping before we move on. This platform has everything that you need today to keep you learning, networking, and engaging, whether you're watching a program or you're waiting for one to begin. Now, on the left-hand menu, you're going to find today's agenda, bios of this year's honored laureates and business speakers, sponsor profiles, and lots of networking opportunities, like an attendees list where you can set up your own profile and find other attendees or direct message anyone for as long as that platform is up. And then there's my favorite, live video chat rooms, open all day so you can network even more, meet new people, get your own group together for a watch party or a coffee break or maybe even happy hour. Anything else you can think of, take advantage of it. And for today's Town Hall event, we'll also have a live chat box and live polling that you can always access by the 2 tabs directly to the right of this player window. Opportunities are always what you make of them, and I encourage you all to take full advantage while you can today. Now, before we begin, let's take a moment to hear from our Town Hall and Masterclass presenting sponsor, KPMG, about why they're so proud to be a longtime partner of Junior Achievement and the Washington Business Hall of Fame.
On behalf of the partners and professionals of KPMG, thank you for attending the Washington Business Hall of Fame Town Hall. One of KPMG's core values is for better, which means that we do what matters for our clients, our people, and our communities. We are committed to our communities as it helps to build a sense of purpose within our teams, develops the leaders of today and tomorrow to foster the talent pipeline, and simply because it is the right thing to do. This past year, KPMG professionals delivered over 80,000 hours of service to our communities, distributed almost 500,000 books to children underserved in their education, and donated almost $50 million to community organizations. KPMG is committed to lifelong learning, and that is why we are so passionate about our relationship with Junior Achievement. Junior Achievement's vision of creating a world in which young people have the skill set and mindset to build thriving communities is directly aligned with our Together for Better priorities. In 2022, KPMG recognizes our 125th year anniversary, and over the summer we celebrated with a Community Impact Day. In a single day, KPMG professionals volunteered over 60,000 hours to community organizations, including 15 Junior Achievement markets across the country. And as part of our anniversary celebration here in the Greater Washington area, we are very excited to support Junior Achievement as JA launches amazing plans to scale the impact it is having on our local students. Thank you again for listening to the Town Hall. I hope you enjoy the masterclasses following this event.
Thank you, Matt. It's great to have you and KPMG involved in this year's Hall of Fame again. And now, let's kick off the Town Hall. Let's get to it. Today's theme is focused on thriving communities, a core element of Junior Achievement's vision. JA empowers students with the skills, the mindset, and the connections to unlock greater opportunity to build thriving communities. But what defines a thriving community? Often that depends on the goals and the circumstances of its members and the resources that they can access to overcome any obstacles and broaden their opportunities. In today's town hall, we'll explore what it means for a community to thrive, the ways in which our communities have changed since the COVID-19 pandemic, and the role that businesses can play in expanding opportunities and well-being for community members. Here to explore this important topic are our three panelists and quintessential role models themselves, both in business and in life. So glad to have them with us. First up, President and CEO of Jair Lynch Real Estate Partners, Jair Lynch. Welcome, Jair.
Thank you. Good morning. Great to be here.
Great to have you here with us. Looking forward to a great discussion. Next, CEO of Curley Company, Jennifer Curley. Hey, Jennifer, glad to have you.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
And also, we're glad to have you here. And last but not least, managing partner of PwC's Washington, D.C. office and the upcoming chair of Hall of Fame in 2023, Kevin Smithson. Hey, Kevin.
Hi there, Leon. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be with my esteemed colleagues here, and especially this outstanding student leaders. So thanks again. Look forward to having some fun.
Same here. We're all looking forward to it. Welcome, Kevin, Jennifer, and Jair. We're just thrilled to have you all. And we know the students are even more excited, so let's get to them. We've got 4 students from 2 local high schools. Potomac High School and Surrattsville High School were selected to ask their burning questions to our esteemed business panel today. But these aren't just any students. These are JA's 3DE students. Now, if you haven't heard of 3DE schools, it's one of the greatest innovations in high school education, one of the coolest things I've ever seen. 3DE by Junior Achievement re-engineers the traditional classroom experience to better reflect the complexities of the real world because, see, students learn key subjects like math, English, and science through project-based case studies presented by real local businesses. This first-of-its-kind model is changing the game for this region, so I can't wait for you to hear from this special group of students who are in the 3DE program. So let's meet them right now. First up, hailing from Surrattsville High School is 9th grader Justice. Hey, Justice, welcome.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Doing great and glad to meet you today. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, for the people who don't know, my name is Justice Jacks. I go to Surrattsville High School. I'm a 9th grader. I love to play basketball. And I'm a loving person, and I'm glad to be given this opportunity. And, you know, I'm glad I get to talk to you guys today.
We're glad to have you here to do that. All right, looking forward to talking to you some more. All right, and next up we have with us Madison. Hey there, Madison.
Hey, good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Glad to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I play volleyball, and I attend Potomac High School, and I enjoy doing hair.
Oh, you're a lady of many talents.
Yes.
Glad to meet you. Glad to meet you. All right, third from Surrattsville High School. Again, let's hear it now for 9th grader Demaya. Hi, Demaya. Tell us about yourself.
Hi, I'm Demaya Brown. I'm a 9th grader. I am a part of the JROTC program. And just like Madison, I enjoy doing hair.
Sounds like you've got a lot of things going on with yourself as well. That makes you a very interesting person who's going to have a very interesting life. Glad to meet you, Demaya. Also now from Potomac High School, we have 11th grader Lexi. Hi there, Lexi.
Hello, my name is Lexi Wallace. I'm a 3DE founder, and I'm 11th grade who attends Potomac High School, and I'm also a varsity football manager.
All right. We've got some really spectacularly talented people here with us today. Good to meet you. All right, let's get to it. Now that we've got everybody here, let's kick it back to Justice. And Justice, you can ask the first question. Take it away.
My question today would be, how would you define a thriving community?
Yeah, thanks, Justice. What a great honor to be here today and talk to you all. I think, you know, running a business is a way to contribute to the community and help our communities thrive. And I feel that that's something that I can do as a leader and a CEO to help our communities. But one of my favorite parts of it are the people. And I do believe that we need to, as leaders, lead with our full selves and ask our ask our employees to come with their best selves to the office every day. And I think there's a lot of opportunity in that for us to lead and help our employees grow and thrive. As a result, I think we're contributing back to the communities because, a happy workforce that's clear on their purpose is more engaged in your community.
All right. Kevin, you want to take a shot at that one?
Sure. When I think of a thriving community, and Jennifer said it, it's leadership, right? It's the effectiveness of leaders who are passionate about their community. They involve all, the members of the community, all the members of the community, and they set out goals of what they want to achieve for the community. And they do a report card on themselves to determine whether or not they've met those goals or what else they need to do in order to continue to thrive. I think those are some of the recipes, if you will, for an effective, a thriving community.
Mm-hmm. How about from where you sit, Jair?
I add on to what everyone else has said. I think one of my favorite parts of running a business is actually the people side and creating great leaders and making sure that they can shine and they can thrive because they have the ripple effect that can happen out in communities. For us, we want to create a sense of belonging, a sense of purpose, and a really a clear goal and North Star in terms of how we move the organization and making sure that everyone can see themselves in that plan. And once you do that, you really can see momentum and acceleration towards those goals.
All right. We tackled that one. All right. Now we got everybody all warmed up. Let's move on to the next question. This one's coming from Madison. Your turn, Madison. Take it away.
The question I chose, what should we be aware of when it comes to hybrid work?
Yeah, hybrid work that's the future. We thought we were just going to be doing it temporarily with the pandemic, but that's the way your life is probably going to start and maybe continue throughout your entire career. Kevin, what are your thoughts on that? What advice would you have for him?
Sure. COVID has taught us many things. One thing it has taught us is agility and being open-minded to doing things in new and different ways are incredibly important, right? And we've seen it through the pandemic, and we'll continue to see it. I think, Leon, that also goes to working in a hybrid environment, which it's here and it's here to stay in some form. Mm-hmm. Working in a hybrid environment. I think what I would say to that is how you show up matters. And what I mean by that is whether you're showing up online or you're showing up in person as you continue your academic career, get your first real job, right, or whatever that is, how and when you show up in person or on screen matters. So do it with energy, do it in a professional manner. And I would argue in the role I'm in, showing up in person is incredibly important if you want to build those connections with your colleagues and those who you work for. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Good advice. How about you, Jennifer? Do you have advice for these young folks who are going to be working in a hybrid environment?
Yes, I sure do. I'm going to reiterate a little bit of what Kevin said. I have two pieces of advice for you, really. First is show up. And I think what Kevin said is exactly right. It's great. And I love the flexibility that hybrid brings to us. We all like those days when you don't have to commute or you can work out of your, sweatpants or whatever makes you happy. And I think for working women, it's really great because we can manage childcare and juggle all the other things that we like to do and our working dads as well. But I do believe that as young people, you're going to need to choose to come in when you can. What I worry about for your generation is that you're not getting the mentorship that just happens, at the water cooler, they say, or just in the office as you're walking around. You're going to really have to seek it out for yourselves. So, the hybrid is great because it brings a lot of flexibility and choice, but it is going to push you all to seek out the opportunities and show up. And I think the other thing I would say is you're going to have to ask. So that means it's not going to just happen to you. You're going to have to raise your hand, whether again it's on Zoom. You're going to have to reach out and ask for help, ask for mentorship. ask for all that connection that you may miss when you're working from home some days, or you're not in the office where it happens organically. So those are my two pieces of advice. I also have one thing that's really inspiring about your generation. I think with Generation Z, I think you're very equipped for what's coming next. I think you're compassionate and you're worldly and entrepreneurial. And I think you're going to need to be all those things as we face the next phase of what's happening in our communities. And so I see a lot of hope in your generation. And just the way you look at the world, I think is really exciting, and it's going to serve you really well. So I have a lot of optimism for you.
Wow. A lot of optimism and a lot of good advice, especially that about asking. You know, if you don't ask, you don't get. You know, you disappear, especially in these hybrid situations, and that is not good. So speak up and seek out the mentorship. That's really good advice. How about with you, Jair? What would you tell these kids to do to prepare for that hybrid environment that they're probably going to have to start their careers in?
Well, I'd argue that one of the things they have to do is be very aware. While there are a long list of reasons to be in the office, there are few reasons and few anecdotes that we need to be aware of. There's been a drastic drop in terms of harassment. There's been a drastic drop in terms of people who felt like they were being discriminated against because they had disabilities, because we were in a hybrid workplace. Those situations in which people were able to take advantage, a lot of those disappeared in the hybrid workplace. That doesn't mean that we should go 100% hybrid, 100% remote. That means that we need to be aware that when we come back in the office, that we should leave all of those things behind so we can have a better, fruitful environment, and we can have an environment in which we respect everyone, and then we're open to all the contributions that someone could bring in the workplace.
All right. Thanks for that, Jair. Good stuff there. All right, let's move on now to Demaya. What would you like to ask?
Hi, I would like to ask, what equalities do you think high school students can develop that can help them be successful in a workplace culture of today?
Again, I see so much hope for your generation, because I think you're resourceful. I think you're very resourceful as everything I've seen with young people today. I think you're compassionate. I think you look at the world with just, I think, a real hopefulness that I think is really inspiring, and that will serve you very well. I think being a problem solver, to me, is one of the best skills that you can have. I know that's what I look for when I'm hiring young people is can you go roll up your sleeves and figure it out? You know, I know you come out of, school and you're training with certain skill sets and you may learn the field, but you can't teach that problem solving. You really have to have that instinctively. And I think that's probably the number one thing that I'm looking for is resourcefulness and problem solving. And like I said, I do see a lot of potential in your generation for that.
And they're going to have to keep that optimism engine going.
Sure.
I can tell you, doing what I do every single day and talking about what the landscape is like out there, and the challenges and the headwinds that they're going to be walking into, that optimism is the thing that's going to fuel them and keep them going forward. And you're right about that. They do have a lot of it, but they got to keep it going. That's for sure. Kevin, how about you?
Sure. I think that optimism is huge. I think it's one thing to have courage, because I think courageousness is incredibly important. It's another thing to use your voice and to have the courage to use your voice when you see things that are going astray or you see opportunities to improve something. Use it, leverage that voice. You may have heard this quote before, but if you are in the room, you have a right to be in the room. So demonstrate that you have that right and leverage your voice.
Good stuff. How about you, Jair?
Well, I think it's really important for young people to master their executive functioning. I'm sure you're hearing that a lot now. And then also understand how to work in high intensity situations, as well as situations without a lot of direction. And each one of those are going to stretch you in different ways and help you become an effective person in the workplace. Because there are going to be times where someone's going to drive very, very hard, very specific tasks. There's going to be other times in which someone's going to have a blank slate and say, go figure it out. And you're going to have to work in each one of those situations, and being able to, as I say, dial it up or dial it down and be effective will really come back to the basics that you're learning today.
Good stuff. Good stuff. That can really help you set a good foundation, guys. All right, Lexi, you can wrap up with the final question for the panelist.
Okay, today's final question is, how can a young person add unique value and lead within their community?
How can they add unique value? Okay, Jennifer, you want to take that one?
I sure do. You know, one thing I feel very strongly about is paying it forward. You know, the three of us are here today to talk to you all because we're spending time and energy to invest in the next generation. And I just ask you all to do the same thing. When it's your turn, please join the panels, volunteer for JA, volunteer in your communities, and do your part to mentor the next generation. And that would be my big ask of you all today. And I think it's the best way for you to contribute in our communities.
All right, I like that. How about you, Jair?
I love the idea of service leadership as one of the primary ways in which that you can operate in the workplace. And I think Jennifer hit it dead on. The place in which you can advance is when you're actually able to serve. Join a volunteer organization, volunteer to be on a committee, tell someone that you want to take notes, do anything, take out the trash. All of that gets you in the room and allows you to be present. And each one of those things will help you thrive going forward.
And it also allows you to be seen being active. It allows you to be seen doing something, being energized. And that's the kind of thing that excites people who are going to be in a position to hire you or promote you. That's really good advice there. How about you, Kevin?
So I would echo these comments as well. I guess one of the things I would say is it doesn't have to be big and huge and scary. It's small things. It's the small things, to Jair's point, the taking out the trash that he used, the example, right? The small thing, posting on social media, something that you think will have a positive impact in our community by sharing. Those are the things. What you're doing right now already on this panel and in this discussion is leadership. And I would argue it's servant leadership. So continuing to do those things, it becomes easier, maybe more fun, and you'll start to get an energy out of that, which is, you know, in my mind, I think incredibly impactful.
That's awesome. I can't wait to talk to you guys, you students, at the end of your by your senior year, after picking up the information like this and tips like this. I wish someone had told me this when I was in the 9th grade. Who knows? I might even own this place if I learned that when I was in the 9th grade. Well, that's neither here nor there. All right? Before we dive into the next portion of our town hall here, let's take a moment to hear from another one of today's sponsors, Delta Airlines. They'll tell us about why they're so committed to their partnership with JA and the Hall of Fame.
Hi, I'm Tad Hutchison, Managing Director of Community Engagement for Delta Airlines. At Delta, we're proud to sponsor Junior Achievement, more than 30 chapters on 5 different continents. Tonight, we're particularly proud to sponsor Junior Achievement of Greater Washington Hall of Fame Town Hall. Thank you to Leon for hosting tonight.
Oh, it is so great to have Delta Airlines supporting Junior Achievement and their students again this year. Thank you so much. Okay, now, time to flip the script. Jair, Jennifer, Kevin, throughout your careers, you've achieved some great things professionally, but you've each also contributed substantially to the communities where you live and where you work. Now, from growth and opportunity to challenge and struggle, you've likely seen what works and what doesn't work in a variety of different situations driven by both individuals and organizations, right? So in our current world where things are changing so fast and so frequently, I think it's really important that we all stop and we take stock every now and then of where we are and how we can use the resources at our disposal to make sure that our communities are thriving, not just for some, but for all. So with that in mind, and in the spirit of giving our all for our commitments in our communities, Jennifer, do you have a question that you would like to pose to the students?
I sure do. So I'm going to turn the tables on all of you and have a little bit of fun. So let's pretend and dream for a minute that I gave you $1 million each. I want to know what you would do with it to have impact on your community. You can't use it for personal gain. You need to use it in a way to have impact on your community.
Huh. Okay. Let's see. Who wants to go? Who am I going to pick on first? Lexi, you go with this one. I saw you grinning.
Okay. Firstly, I will build more shelters and hospitals, and then with the rest of the money, I would donate it into putting more 3DE programs into more schools in the local area, because I feel as though more students need to experience what I've experienced, and it will really help them develop in the future.
Okay, if there was a prize, you just won it. You found a way.
You
found a way to plug 3DE. That's going to be a big hit in this room, that's for sure. All right, Justice, how about you? What would you do with the $1 million?
What I would do with the $1 million is, with $250,000, I would donate to my school in general, because I feel like there's some things we can upgrade. So I would donate to my school in general. Then with another $250,000, I would donate it to charity, because I feel like everybody needs something in life. So donating to either like the homeless shelter or just charity in general, I feel like that's a good cause. And with the other $500K, I would probably do it to put it in hospitals and probably build more houses around my area, so it could be a way for more people to move in throughout everywhere in Maryland.
Wow, you just described a way to help a whole lot of people, Justice. Good stuff, good thinking. All right, Madison, how about you?
Related to what Justice said, giving back to the schools, I feel like giving back to more sports clubs, expanding it, or even putting money into the recreation centers for kids so we can have something to do out of school or after school, or even like community events, have more community events to bring closer and know who you are in the community with, and just spend time with them.
Okay, those are a lot of things that got that sort of address what Jennifer said earlier about building that optimism. That would really infuse a lot of optimism in the communities if the teens have someplace to go and do things in positive ways. Good stuff. All right, Demaya, how about you?
With that type of money, I'd focus mainly on Clinton. I'd focus on the people that aren't attending school, the people that want to attend school, and the people that generally just don't really know which way they want to go with their life. So with that type of money, I'd make a little, not a shelter, but a little safe space for everybody to communicate, come together to, like, hopefully it'll help stop preventing danger, violence, anything that has to do with drugs. So with that type of money, I'd just create a home shelter for literally everybody.
That's great. It sounds it's almost like you guys knew what this question was going to be. You got some very, very thoughtful answers. Good stuff. How about you, Kevin? You have one you want to pose to the panel, the younger panel here?
I absolutely do. So we talked a bit about COVID and the reality of the pandemic, and one of the things that I've seen in the workplace, and I know others have as well, is the mental and emotional toll that COVID had on everyone's health and well-being. That's both in school, at work, and elsewhere. I'm curious as to, and I love this safe space comment, by the way, it sort of goes in line with that. How do you see your employers or prospective employers support your mental and emotional health?
Okay. Lexi's raising her hand again. The first one out the gate. You want to tackle that one?
Yes. So in my school, we have a mental health day every quarter. So we get to take one day for our mental health. And I feel as though I work, so I feel as though more workplaces need that too, because not only is what you're doing at your job, but you also have stuff like after school and stuff. So I feel as though you should at least get like a mental health day every month, at least one, or like a longer break.
That's actually very insightful. That makes a lot of sense. How about you, Demaya?
I want to add on to what Lexi said. The fact that her school has a mental health day, and the fact that she works in that, and that's helping her with her mental health, and probably helping a whole bunch of other people in her school. That's focusing more in school. To me, I feel like people need to be both focused in school and out of school, especially for the people that have no direction, have no self-value for themselves. They need a step, they need a path. So I like what Lexi said, like the mental health day. I think some people need a mental health day, especially the people that's out there doing God knows what.
Well, you know what, in a way, you all are very fortunate that we can even have that conversation now. There's not the stigma attached to, a mental health approach and improving mental health the way that there was, as recently as 10 years ago, 5 years ago even. Everybody's now seeing just how important that is. Madison, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on it, piggybacking on what both of they said. Mental health days, those are really good. And I feel like if something's bothering you or you balled up, you should find a hobby to help, because that's what I've recently done. Last year, my first year of high school, I was so stressed out. It was my first year. It's a lot. Everything was new back in school after the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And I joined the volleyball team, and it helped me a lot. It helped me make friends, adjusting to the school as well, too. So I think, finding a hobby but with the mental health days, I feel like I took one recently this quarter, and I feel like we need more days, because going back to school, I was like, ugh, I gotta do this all over again. And it was the same stuff. So probably about 2 days, that would be good.
Can I ask you what you did on your mental health day?
I took time to focus on myself and what did I need to change about my schedule, because I would wake up really early and still be tired. I was trying to find a way how to get that energy.
Interesting. That's exactly what, with the adults on the panel here, where we're talking about not waiting for a solution to be given to you, about, you taking some initiative and going out there and finding your own way to solve a problem. And that helps you figure that out, but it also lets other people see you being active in your growth. And that's a really, really good thing. Keep that up. Keep that up. Justice, how about you? You're in the 9th grade, and you're just now dealing with the stresses that Madison was talking about.
Well, Madison did have stress, but I feel like maybe it's just me. I feel like I don't have any stress right now going on to high school, and I don't know if it's anything specific that makes it that way, but I don't feel like I have any stress or a lot of stress. The most of the stress from our high school comes from waking up. Like every time you walk to school, everybody's just talking about, hey, waking up early and stuff like that, and nobody can get the energy. But with mental health, I feel like you always should find something to like help it. Like what I think Lexi said it, a hobby, something like that. Mm-hmm. And some people have hobbies. They have their AirPods in, but the teachers mess that up. So with mental health, I feel like we should have a mental health day too for us. Even though Lexi and them we don't have a mental health day, so I feel like we should add it to our school so we can be prepared for school the next day and every day.
Awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, Jair, how about you? You got one for the kids?
I often learn the most by listening. And so my question is, us as business leaders, what could we do to help problems that you see in your community? And maybe we can take some of your ideas and put them into action.
Demaya, what do you think about that? What do you think that someone who owns a business can do? What a business community can do to help better the lives in your community?
I'm still sticking to my safe haven, my safe place. I feel like a well-known business a manager, entrepreneur, they need to come down to wherever they see is bad or quote unquote bad, and just need to get a feel, just need to get a gist for what's happening in that city, that community, to understand what they need to do to fix the problem, how to solve the problem, and how to approach the problem. Because in some problems, they either make it worse or better. So I just feel like an entrepreneur, a manager, very well-known business manager needs to come down, get a gist, like take a week down, Clinton, Baltimore, Virginia, somewhere, just understand what the problem is, understand what they need to do, understand where they need to, exactly where to locate said business.
So it sounds like you're saying that you want to see the business community be more connected. Okay. All right. Good stuff. Lexi, what do you think? What can the business community do to help?
I think businesses need to show more recognition on what's going on in the community. A lot of businesses don't talk about what's going on in the community because they think it's going to have a bad review or a bad viewing on how their business is. But if you don't recognize what's going on in the community, how do you know how to fix it? So I would like more recognition from businesses that's going on in your community.
All right, all right. Sounds like the thing is, though, it can't be a one-way thing. It's you've got to be able to go and communicate to the business community as well to tell them what the problems are, don't you think?
Yes.
In a word, yes. All right, Justice, how about you? What do you think about that? What can the business community do to help solve the problems in your community?
Well, first off, I feel like they can set up a shelter maybe, to where people that are not fortunate can go to get food, have a place to sleep at night, so they can just walk somewhere instead of having to go across town or just not having a place to stay in general. And I feel like they should do that by going around the whole city by having stops, making sure that there's places that people can sleep for the non-fortunate people, stuff like that. So I feel like the business should always have a place for somebody to eat and sleep if people don't have the type of place to sleep.
Finding a way to make those people not feel like they've been forgotten. Yeah, I understand.
Thank you so much for that.
See where you're coming from.
All three, everybody.
Madison, do you have a thought on that before we go?
Yes, I do. I feel like as having your own business and being an entrepreneur, we're not really an entrepreneur. You should use your platform to speak on what's going on in the community, help everyone understand. And by using a platform, you're telling millions of people, because social media is the new thing for this generation, and that's how you get your voice. Also, word to mouth, telling people in the community, asking for help. It's not bad to ask for help. Yeah, I feel like social media. Yeah.
Okay. Well, very good. Very good. You guys really came up with some really well thought out answers. Very, very impressive. And I love the way that so many of your answers all involve helping other people. That's one way to make sure that this world is going to be better when you leave it. So keep that going. Keep that going. And that also builds up that optimism we were talking about. It keeps nurturing that. So keep it going. Nice, great discussion, guys. This was really, really insightful and enlightening. Kevin, you want to take us out with a final question?
I think I cleared up all of my questions here. I guess I'll ask you one thing. What is, as you think about finishing out your academic career, heading into the future, what's one word that you think about your future?
Ooh, that's a good one. One word that you all think about your future. All right, Madison, go.
The only word that really came to mind is successful. That's what my goal is, to be successful.
There you go.
That's great.
Good answer. Demaya, how about you?
I think my word would be self-worth.
Hyphenated. One word. It works. Okay. Lexi, and your turn?
My word will be excited.
Ah, good. And I hope it stays that way. Hope it continues to stay that way. Justice, finally you. What's your one word?
My word would be grateful.
There you go. An attitude of gratitude. That'll take you a long, long way and also inspire a lot of people to want to help you too. Good stuff, guys. Thanks so much for pitching in the way you did today. This is really, really great. We've now come to the end of our town hall. But before we wrap things up, I want to extend a very special thank you to our incredible 3DE students from Potomac High School and Surrattsville High School, and our inspiring panel of business leaders, Jennifer, Kevin, Jair, Madison, Demaya, Lexi, and Justice. Thank you all for sharing and helping us learn something today. Connecting leaders and learners, that's the mission of Junior Achievement and the Hall of Fame, and I think that's exactly what we accomplished today. Way to go, guys. This program wouldn't be possible without the support of our sponsors. To say a few words, please welcome our 2021 Hall of Fame event chair and regional president for PNC Bank, Jermaine Johnson.
Hello, I'm Jermaine Johnson, regional president of PNC Bank for Greater Washington and Virginia. Thanks to Leon Harris for hosting this town hall. It's always inspirational to hear how our region's business and community leaders have achieved success in their respective fields. And I hope all of you have gleaned some useful information as you begin to think about your future careers. At PNC, we understand that investing in our youth makes good economic sense and plants the seeds for a dynamic workforce of tomorrow. Through our signature philanthropic program, PNC Grow Up Great, we're investing millions of dollars to ensure that our youngest students are ready to succeed in school and in life. We applaud Junior Achievement for the important work it's doing to change the game for our region's youth. Students benefit from financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship programs that are proven to help them be 100% ready for real life and in the real world. That's great news for companies like PNC, who remain competitive by filling our talent pipeline with high-quality candidates. Thank you to our next generation of business leaders for participating in today's virtual event. You are the future of our economy, and I wish you all the very best.
Thanks, Jermaine, and thank you, PNC, for supporting today's event. We really appreciate it. All right, now don't forget, coming up right after this is the Washington Business Hall of Fame Masterclass Series presented by KPMG. These classes offer a look inside the minds of some of DC's greatest business and community leaders, and you can check out all the full listing of presenters and the topics by clicking on the 2022 Masterclasses tab on the virtual platform. Thanks to all of you for tuning in, and a big thanks to Masterclass and Town Hall Series sponsor KPMG and Town Hall sponsors Delta Airlines and PNC Bank for making this day possible. Make it a great day. We'll see you soon.